Hey everyone, welcome to Northwest Fishing Reports. Mike Carey here with Rob and Hillary Holman, and we are fishing out of Sekiu.
Right on the Strait of Juan to Fuca, the boats are going out. It's coho time.
We are special guests today of
Don Morse, Old Goat Lures. We're on his boat today. We're gonna do some tackle testing, and straight out of Boise, Dean Teagarden of WiggleFin's joining us.
It's gonna be a great show. You're watching Northwest Fishing Reports.
I'm putting a swarm on. This is large size.
So what's the idea behind this on the Downrigger?
It just runs as a dummy flasher, and it's got a prop built into the body of it up here, so it turns, and as it turns, it rotates over. The blades flip out and tumble, and it looks like a little swarm of fish chasing bait, and it throws flash in just about every direction you can imagine. The nice thing about it is you just rig it up, snap it on, and just kind of forget about it. You spend all day with it, and it's just there. You don't have to screw around with it. Just stack your releases above it, run your bait out behind it.
Nice. There we go. First action of the day, just one rod in. We've got bit. Fish came off, that's okay. We'll get them back down there.
About 35 feet down on the rigger.
$35 feet, Don?
35, yep. Oh yeah. There's a good one.
Fish on. All right. Don had us up the speed on the motor just a tad, and that was all it took. That was our first fish. We got a netter. What a beautiful morning out here on Sekiu. Little lumpy, it'll calm down. Probably not it.
Good job, guys.
First fish in the net. We've got to ID it before we bring it on board. It's a keeper!
All right.
All right, that fish is clipped. Yeah! This is one of the larger old goats. It's a new color, isn't it, Don?
Chartreuse spackleback.
Chartreuse spackleback. That's a nice looking lure. Woo!
Got the adrenaline going a little bit there, Don.
That was really nice. The ratio of clipped to unclipped is pretty low, so they get a clip fish right off the bat like that. That's sweet.
Setting up to drop the downrigger. Got an old goat on here. You can see it on the top right out there. Swarms on the downrigger ball. Loose here. We've got two flat blades on it and one turntail blade that actually spins this one as it goes around.
Our center set up we're using, in this case, a dipsy diver to get the bait down. When you're fishing out here, fast trolling for coho, downrigger on either side and a center rod, in my opinion, that's the way to go. Just everything keeps separated. It's a really good setup that Don's got going here. Yeah, he's here. Netter. Dean, you want that?
It might be a
You want that?
little king. This one's got a fin, so we didn't take it out of the water. We're gonna let her go, turn her loose. They're picking through a lot of unclipped fish to find the clipped fish that we can retain. The limit as of today is 2 adult coho per person. Fish over fish. There?
Yeah, it's there.
Small.
Right there. It's right there.
Hi, Rod. How do you do?
We gotta reel in a little more, Hillary. Okay, God dang it.
It's okay, self-release.
Clean release. That was me releasing it cleanly.
This looks like a little one. Might be a blackmouth. We got a net. Coming in. Here we go, Dean. Thank you. Make me stay. Hold on, keep her down. There's no fin. That's the blackmouth.
Is that a blackmouth?
Yeah. We got a little baby Chinook here. These are also closed for retention, so we're going to release this one and keep going. There it is, right on top.
Woo! Okay.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a nice fish.
Take one step forward, Hillary. Keep good tension. Keep the rod straight out.
Looks like he's swimming at the boat here.
He's trying to get ahead of you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna.
No, don't point it down. Oh, nice fish.
Big fish, big fish.
Get up.
Fish in the boat.
Nice fish.
Is it? Thank you, sir. Woo. Got up there.
Oh, I just got splashed. I don't see a fin. Not the keeper.
Is that a silver? Woo! He's got some spunk to him.
That's the keeper.
Yeah.
Well done, man. Well done.
Nice.
That's a nice fish.
Nice coho.
And what is this we caught it on, Don?
I think that's the herring pattern you got there, I think.
Blue.
Yeah. Blue black scales with the green stripe.
White gums, right? Or is it a blackmouth?
So this is what we caught it on today.
Yeah.
This is the herring pattern from Old Goat. And Don was saying that the water comes across here kind of like a submarine, and it hits this hole here, and this is where the water just, this hole here disturbs the motion of the water, and so it'll give it a good shake, and that's what gives it its motion.
That's a nice fish.
Woohoo! Here we go! Oh, look at that, Mike. Take a look at that. It was doing some stuff. Oh, it just came off. Oh, no, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there. Somebody net it.
Oh yeah. Pull that guy out of the water. Yeah. Deeper?
Deeper.
Nice. That rod has suddenly gotten very hot.
Yeah. Look at that chrome color. This is gonna grill up great. That's the second one in a couple seconds. We literally put it back down after the big one at Hillary's. Another fish on. I think, Don, we're running, is that the speckleback or the herring pattern?
It's the herring pattern.
Herring pattern OG2, 5-inch.
5-inch.
Working pretty good for us.
I've got a little downrigger trick when you're trolling for especially coho. It seems to be very effective. Coho will oftentimes follow a bait for great distances and they'll just kind of follow along. And if you can do something to change your lure in the water to agitate the coho into biting, you'll sometimes get a bite from a fish that otherwise wouldn't. So what I like to do is I bring my downrigger up about 10-15 feet, wait for a second or two, and then bring it down. So as you can imagine, in the water, you've got this coho following behind your bait. Suddenly the bait's going up, 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 so the coho follows it up, and then you drop it back down, and that fish goes down and grabs it. So it kind of looks like this. This is a manual cannon. It'll work perfectly good with electrics as well. What you're going to do is reel up. So we're at 48 feet. I'm going to bring this up about 38. And then give it a second. And then bring it back down. All right. Try doing that maybe every couple minutes if you're having a slow day and you're trying to get those fish to commit to something. Again, just bring it on up. Give it a second for the fish to catch up, think about it. Bring it back down.
Oh yeah.
Fish on. A little trick there, bringing the downrigger up 12 feet and then dropping it back down. Sometimes that'll trigger a trailing fish into biting. That's a nice hook. Look at that baby.
I'm gonna have to get down here.
Look at that fish. We've got a great midday bite going on here.
Yeah. Straight up.
Try that again.
Lift straight up. Trigger bowl. Right.
These are just beautiful fish. The fin or not the fin?
The fin.
Fin. All right, this guy's going back.
There she goes.
Oh, that was nice.
That was a beautiful fish.
That was a
Good job, Mike.
fish.
Wow. That one was maybe one of the biggest one we've seen today.
Because I use that flasher as leverage, you know. So.
Right into the net for you. Nice spin on there.
Big fat fin. Back he goes. We've been visiting this morning with Donn and Dean, talking about the creative process. Each of these gentlemen created a unique and effective lure. In Dean's case, the WiggleFin. In Donn's case, the Old Goat, which is a plug type lure that no one had ever seen before, very unique. And Dean, tell us a little bit about the creative process. What goes into coming up with a new product like the WiggleFin or the Swarm flashers that you've done?
It starts with the visualization of what you're trying to achieve, and then really, honestly, you just start tinkering and gathering materials that you can approximate that, with for prototyping.
You mentioned for the WiggleFin, the original WiggleFin, which you still have, you actually used the cup of a contact lens holder?
Yeah, it's a disposable contact lens, the little packaging that it comes in. When I said you start sourcing materials for it, I'm looking for something that has an approximate size and approximate shape that will work for a prototype, in a prototype situation. So yeah, the cup came from the disposable case, and then the stem portion of the action disc on the back of it was a chunk of the tube from a WD-40 can that was, jammed into it and kind of epoxied in on the inside. And then, once you get to that point in prototyping and it works, you've got that proof of concept, then you can start into development.
Yeah.
The advent now of technology has made things different, easier. But I still do that though. I mean, I don't have time to, I'm like, I want to see this concept play out, and I don't care if it's made out of plywood if I can prove the concept.
To your point about technology, now we have 3D printing, which that takes us over to Donn here. And Donn, your creative process came up with the Old Goat lure.
Right.
How did that evolve in your mind and develop into an actual product?
So we'd picked up a 3D printer to just tinker with at the house, and in 2014 I'd lost my job, and I have a passion for technology and a passion for fishing, and I thought, well, let's see if we can create a lure. And just as Dean talked about visualization being the starting point, that's where we started, with the concept, and I would 3D print a dozen lures and go out to the livestock trough next to our barn.
Yep.
Start running those lures. If the action looked good, I'd separate the lure that had a decent action until I had 6 or 7 of them, and then we'd go out in the boat and we'd run them on Rock Lake.
Wow.
And we just iterated and iterated and iterated, and then my son's a mechanical engineer, and when we got really close with the OG1, I had him run a fluid dynamics simulation on the lure. And what we wanted with the lure was real instability, not just working about 2 axes, but working about 3. And with the design of the OG1, we actually had an area of 0 pressure around the tail of the lure, which resulted in the unique action and instability. So that's, in a nutshell, what happened there.
Yep. And that lure instability was what you were striving for,
Correct.
Knowing that fish love things that are not routine.
Right.
They become mesmerized if something keeps doing this all day.
Right.
But when it does this,
Right.
then that's the key. And it's the same thing with the WiggleFin.
Yeah.
That lure instability.
I call it better fishing through chaos.
Better fishing
I like
through
that.
chaos.
I like that.
All right. Well, that's the key word, because we're waiting for those rods to turn into chaos. So let's wait for this bite to reappear right here.
And lift.
brought it up 10 feet and
Really?
it popped.
Really?
Yeah.
So you must have just been following.
Wild?
Another wild.
Yeah. Another wild! One of the techniques that's been working well for us here at Sekiu is to put a swarm flasher system behind the ball and then a release 4 feet up going back to a old goat. And have you take a quick little peek here at that swarm down there. And then going up to the clip and then back. I've got the old goat back there about 10 feet or so. What this is doing is the swarm on the ball is bringing fish up. They're feeling that vibration, that agitation in the water. They're seeing the flash. They're coming to investigate. And as they investigate and they slide back away from the swarm, there's our bait right behind it, that old goat. And it's been effective. We've been getting fish with this setup. Hey, we've come to the end of our fun adventure up here in Sekiu. It's been a great 2 days of fishing.
Lots of action, a lot of different stuff.
We caught a lot of wild fish, unclipped fish, had to go back, but we also got our share of keepers. So
Yeah.
bring home some fish. We really want to thank Don Morris of Old Goat Lures
You can check him out at oldgoatlures.com.
for taking us out on his boat.
And a big thanks to Dean Teagarden for bringing out the swarm flashers that we ran off the Downrigger ball in combination with the OG2s.
We'll see you guys on the water.